Well, a good evening to all pro wrestling fans of all shapes and sizes from all around the world. Welcome to another live edition Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I am your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. It is Thursday, July 17th, 2025. Hope everybody's doing well. The weekend is almost here. But wanted to get on here for a little bit, do a little small live stream. Two previews. First, I want to start off with Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. The bracket has been set for the Tokyo Princess Cup number 12. So, gonna preview that tournament bracket, and then I'm gonna finish off by giving my preview of TNA Slammiversary 2025. Of course, Slammiversary is one of TNA's big shows, so definitely that time is almost here. As a matter of fact, it's this upcoming weekend, so yeah. That plus got the G1 Climax 35 getting ready to start. Stardom, Sapporo, Rendezvous. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to this weekend. But let's get started. So, earlier this morning on the TJPW YouTube channel, they did the lottery drawing to set the brackets for the Tokyo Princess Cup 12 for all 16 competitors. So, before we get into the bracket itself, I want to make everybody aware of the tournament dates. So, July 27th is when the tournament will start. July 27th and August 2nd will be for the first round matches. So 2 days for the first round matchups. July 27th they'll be at Shinjuku at Shinjuku Face, and then August 2nd they will be at the Axe City Hamamatsu in Shizuoka, Japan. All right. Then the quarterfinals will take place on August 9th. T-Funk, welcome to the stream. The quarterfinals will take place on August 9th in Shinagawa. That is, that'll be at the Shinagawa Grand Hall in Tokyo. The semifinals will be at the Dion Arena in Osaka. That'll be on August 17th. And then the finals will take place at a venue that I'm sure we are all very familiar with, August 23rd at Korakuen Hall. So, the tournament will start in Shinjuku Face and will finish in Korakuen Hall. So, it's exciting. Very exciting. But now that we got that out of the way, let's actually take a look at the official bracket, and let's go over these first round matchups. I have to say, when I finally got to see these matchups, I was pretty shocked. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, this one's going to be tough to predict. This one's going to be really tough to predict. But let's go ahead and let's look at the official bracket for the TJPW Tokyo Princess Cup 12. And here it is. First of all, I love the graphic, and I love the coloring, you know, the blue and the green. Love that. Green's my favorite color. Okay. So, 16 competitors, which means we have 8 first round matchups. Not to mention, no buys. There are no buys. So, yeah. It's going to be very, very interesting. But let's go over the first round matchups. Let's start with the first 4 that will be taking place on July 27th, since that's when the tournament will start. All right, top left, we have Raku versus Miyu Watanabe. Whew. Well, then again, the crazy thing about this is Miyu Watanabe, I believe last year, was upset in the first round by Zara Zakir. And that's another thing. This year's tournament, no outsiders. All TJPW talent in this tournament. As in all TJ signed roster talent. So that makes this tournament even more difficult to predict. But Raku, Miyu Watanabe, to be honest with you, I think this should be a pretty easy pick. So I have to go with Miyu Watanabe to defeat Raku and to move on to the quarterfinals. Glenn Davis, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I really don't see Raku beating Miyu Watanabe. I just can't see it. So, going Miyu Watanabe over Raku. All right. Let's go down a few spots to this next one. And honestly, this one's heartbreaking for me. Glenn says no 2-a-days for TJPW, huh? What, you mean 2 shows in 1 day for this tournament? They normally don't do that. They normally don't do that. It's just like normally there are buys, but there are no buys in this tournament. So yeah. Quite different from previous years. No buys and all TJPW talent. No special guests. But this next matchup, this breaks my heart that this is a first round matchup. But we got Mocha Miyamoto versus the pink striker Miyu Yamashita. Oh man. Of course, those that know me well know that I am a big Mocha Miyamoto fan. And she definitely got the short end of the stick with this one. But I'm still sticking with her becoming the new International Princess Champion this coming Monday. But as far as this tournament, it's just really hard to pick her over Miyu Yamashita. Especially considering Miyu Yamashita has won one of these tournaments. She won this tournament 2 years ago. So just an observation, Marigold is doing 2 a day. Well then again, you gotta also remember it's 2 different types of tournaments, Glenn. One's a round robin. This is a single elimination tournament. And 2, it's not really known for Teach to do a day show and a night show. I'm sure they've done it before a long time ago, but it tends to not be too common for them. But I'm pretty sure they've done it before a long time ago. But yeah, you gotta also keep in mind it's 2 different types of tournaments. So, one lasts much longer than the other, and has a lot more matches than the other. So, that's the thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I will be rooting and cheering hard for Mocha Miyamoto. That's my girl. But realistically, I just cannot see her upsetting Miyu Yamashita. I just can't see it. She might even come close. Not to mention, they faced each other before. They've even teamed up before. But Mocha has never been able to get the best of Miyu Yamashita. So, unfortunately, I'm seeing this as a first-round exit for Mocha Miyamoto. But that's okay. That's okay, because like I said, I am picking her to dethrone Susume and become the new International Princess Champion. High score run, welcome to the stream. She's not beating Miyu, but hopefully she takes her to the limit. Yeah, I hope so too. But I do agree. I don't think she'll beat Miyu Yamashita. But should be a good match, though. Mocha's been getting better more and more, and it was good that she got to go on the Texas tour as well. So we'll see what happens. I'll be rooting for her, but I definitely think Miyu Yamashita will advance. All right. This next one is very intriguing, so direct your attention to the top right. We have the Princess of Princess champion, Mizuki, who, by the way, has won 2 of these tournaments before. Long time ago, she won 2 of these back-to-back. So, yeah. And she is going to be taking on a finalist from last year's tournament in Yuki Aino. Oh, man. Now, we know Yuki Aino had that magical run last year and almost won the tournament, but she lost to Ryo Mizunami in the finals, which I was so bummed by. Can she have that same type of run again this time? Ooh, it's going to be tough. I mean, she opens up this tournament against the top champion in Mizuki, the Popping Sugar Rabbit. Which, of course, we all know Mizuki is going to be defending her title against Yuki Arai at Summer Sun Princess. I'll be rooting for Yuki Aino. I'll be rooting for the Burning Venus, but I don't see her beating Mizuki. I would love for her to win, but I just don't know if she'll go on the same type of run she did last year. But, I mean, anything's possible, especially in pro wrestling tournaments. I'll be rooting for the Burning Venus, but I think the Popping Sugar Rabbit takes this one. High Score Run says, hopefully Yuki wins, setting up a title match. I would love for that to happen. I really would. I would love for that to happen. Okay. And then the last first round match for July 27th. This is another interesting matchup. We have the current International Princess Champion, Suzume, and she will be taking on Wakana Uehara. Wakana has been kind of up and down. Now, of course, we know she won the rookie tournament 2 years ago, but... And Wakana is very over with the fans, and so is Suzume. But I don't know if Wakana will beat Suzume. I don't know. I think Wakana will put up a great fight, but I don't know if I could see her beating Suzume. I mean, Suzume has become quite a very formidable wrestler in singles competition. I mean, we all know she's part of an awesome tag team in Daisy Monkey with Aris Endo, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's very possible that Wakana could pull off a miracle, but I gotta go with the safe bet on this one. I gotta go with the safe bet on this one. I gotta go with Suzume beating Wakana. I hate to say it because Wakana is so over with the crowd, but I just can't see. I just can't see her beating Suzume. High Score Run says, I see a bigger run next year for Wakana. Yeah, that makes sense. And I could see that starting to build up maybe even as early as after Russell Princess this year. So, we'll see. But yeah, I could definitely see her having a bigger run next year. Shoot, who knows? Maybe her and Camille, if they do, maybe they team up for the tag tournament next year and they win the tag titles next year. Ober Eats. That'd be cool. Okay, so those are the July 27th first round matches. Now let's look at the August 2nd first round matchups. So going back over to the left side. Now this is one that could actually go either way. We got Himawari versus this year's Next Generation Rookie Tournament winner, Haru Kazushiro. Yeah, this one could actually go either way. And of course, both of these ladies earned their qualifiers or earned their spots via qualifier tournaments. So it's good to see that they made it this far. But you know what? I am going to say Himawari. I'm gonna pick Himawari to win over Haru Kazushiro. I think it's time for Himawari to get a little bit more of a push. No, she's not going to win this tournament, but I think her at least making it to the next round, I could definitely see. So I'm going to say Himawari defeats Haru Kazushiro. But realistically, that match could go either way. I think it could definitely go either way. High Score Run says, yeah, Himawari my favorite. Yeah, I like Himawari as well. Absolutely. Okay. Next matchup, let's go to the bottom right. Or excuse me, the bottom left, I'm sorry. Bottom left. We have the other half of Daisy Monkey, Aris Endo, taking on one half of the current Princess Tag Team Champions and Hyper Misao. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm picking Aris Endo to upset Hyper Misao. Yep. I'm picking Aris Endo to upset Hyper Misao. I mean, don't get me wrong, Hyper Misao is definitely capable of winning this, but I would like to see how far Aris Endo can go. I would love to see how far she can go. So I'm picking Aris Endo to beat Hyper Misao. All right, now let's go to the right side. This next one, I think it's safe to say, might be the hardest one to predict in this first round. And that is the big kaiju, the other half of the Princess Tag Team Champions, Shoko Nakajima, taking on the White Dragon, Rika Tatsumi. This one's tough. This one's really, really tough. I mean, both are longtime veterans in TJPW. I just, both have won the top title. Oh my God, this one's so difficult to pick. I'll say this. Because I'm picking Aris Endo to beat Hyper Misao, I really don't see both tag team champions eliminated in the first round. So I'm going to say Shoko Nakajima beats Rika Tatsumi in the first round. Yeah, I'm gonna just go by that logic because I really don't see both tag champions being eliminated in the first round. I just don't see it. And then the last first round matchup on August 2nd. Whew, the Battle of the Beauties. As we have the casual beauty, Yuki Kamifuku, taking on Yuki Arai. Oh man. This one's a little difficult. And remember, a few years ago, 2 years ago, Kamiyu was a finalist before she lost to Miyu Yamashita in the finals. Oh, man. I could see this one going either way, to be honest with y'all. I definitely could see this one going either way. But if I had to pick one, because I'm picking Mizuki to retain the Princess of Princess Championship at Summer Sun Princess, I think this may be the tournament where Yuki Arai has her redemption arc. So I'm going to say Yuki Arai defeats Yuki Kamifuku. So those are my first round picks to advance. Misfit, welcome to the stream. TNA confirms AJ Styles for Slammiversary. Oh yeah. Which that'll be for the second half of this, but yes, absolutely. High Score Run says Arai could go on quite a run here. And see, to be honest, Yuki Arai was one of the people that I had in mind to win this whole tournament. Although it's really tough to predict, I could see actually Yuki Arai win this tournament. Glenn says, I think it's great that Joshi is so stacked that even with retirements, injuries, and migration to America, 3 organizations can put on banger tournaments all at the same time. Oh yeah, loaded and a lot of content, Glenn, to keep up with. So one thing's for sure, it makes it difficult for me to get bored, that's for sure. But yeah, so, and also, once the final 4 competitors are set, they're actually going to do another lottery drawing, just like they did the previous years. For the semifinals, they're going to do another lottery drawing. So it could get shuffled quite a bit when it comes to that point, once they have the final 4. Now, if I had to narrow this down to 3 potential tournament winners, I would say, if I had to pick 3, Yuki Arai would be my top pick. Miyu Watanabe. She would be another pick. And because I do see her getting dethroned for the International Princess Championship, part of me could actually see Suzume win this tournament. So, Yuki Arai, Miyu Watanabe, Suzume. Those are three that come to mind that I could actually see winning this tournament. Now, as usual, as in previous years, the winner of this tournament gets a nice trophy, and they secure themselves a shot at the Princess of Princess Championship at Wrestle Princess. Which, Wrestle Princess this year will be on Saturday, September 20th at the Ottawa General Gymnasium. Just like where Grand Princess and Summer Sun Princess is at. Venue that I've been to. Very nice venue, by the way. Let's see. Should be a great tournament. I'm looking forward to it. Because like I said, it's an interesting change from last year, being that we had special guests last year. Of course, with Zara Zakar and Ryo Mizunami. Of course, Ryo Mizunami, who ended up winning the tournament. But no special guests this time around. All roster-signed Tej talent. So, it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. But, should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Because when you think about it, TJPW has 3 major shows and 3 major tournaments. And, when it comes to the tournaments, this is their big tournament. And I know some may say, well, why don't they ever have a round robin tournament? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, Tej has been doing this well for so long. I don't think they really need a round robin tournament, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying it's a terrible idea, but I really don't think they need a round robin tournament. But that's just me. But yeah, I don't think they need a round robin tournament. Bump that. Okay. Now that I got that over with, let's switch gears to another major event that's going to be happening this upcoming Sunday. We have TNA Slammiversary. Let me turn this fan on. TNA Slammiversary 2025. Like I said, this is one of their big shows of the promotion. It will take place this Sunday, July 20th, and it will be at the UBS Arena in Long Island, New York. And got quite a card for this show. I didn't see anything booked for the pre-show. But, got 8 matches on the card. 8 matches on the card and a bunch of titles on the line. I mean, a whole bunch. A good old handful of titles on the line. So, let me go ahead and get my graphics up. And we will get started with the preview. Alright, we're going to start with the ladies first, the knockouts. Check it out. First up, we got ourselves a singles match. Tessa Blanchard versus Indi Hartwell. Impressive Indi Hartwell. I know Indi Hartwell's made a little bit of noise since coming to TNA, signing with TNA. I definitely think she has a good future with TNA. And who knows? Don't be surprised if she might pop back up on WWE at some point. You know, NXT, you know. Not so sure Indi is going to beat Tessa, though. I mean, it would be great, but I'm actually going to say Tessa Blanchard wins this one. I mean, she's like one of the main mega knockout heels in the company right now, so yeah, I'm thinking she's probably going to get the victory in this one. Although I wouldn't be mad if Indi Hartwell did. I think it'd be cool, but I'm going to say Tessa Blanchard wins this one. John Elite, welcome to the stream. Has Indi been doing stuff on the Indies since leaving WWE? Well, you know, she won the, I believe it's the House of Glory Women's Championship. You know she won that title, right? Which I believe Shotzi Blackheart is the next in line to challenge her for that title. But yeah. But yeah, she's champion. John Elite's going with Tessa as well. Glenn says yes. But yeah. Yeah, Indi's been doing meet and greets as well. She was at WrestleCon a couple of months ago, and I believe she's going to be at WrestleCon in New Jersey coming up. So, yeah, she's been doing meet and greets and stuff like that. So, yeah, Indi's been busy. Did I say Tessa? I meant to say Indi. But yeah, Indi's been busy. All right, let's go with this next match, which pretty much this was one of the recent matches that was just added to the card. Check it out. All righty, we have ourselves an 8-man tag team match. We have the System of JDC, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, teaming up with Matt Cardona to take on Dark State, made up of Dion, Lennox, Osiris, Griffin, Saquon, Shugars, and Cutler, James. Dark State's been on a roll. They've been on a roll. But, you know what? They're in TNA territory. I think they can afford a loss in TNA territory. So I'm going to say the System and Matt Cardona pick up the win over Dark State. Glenn says, I wish I was more excited about Slammiversary, but I feel like they've lost something since their relationship with WWE. What do you mean? What do you feel like they've lost? Or can you elaborate? I'm actually curious. Can you elaborate? But yeah, I'm gonna go with the System and Matt Cardona to pick up the win. But like I said, Dark State, they've been on a roll. They've been on a roll. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's get into our first championship match of the card. This should be rather interesting. Here we go. All right, we got the Knockouts in action. We have the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships on the line. As the champions, the Elegance brand, which are made up of Ash and Heather by Elegance. And they will be defending against the Inspiration, Cassie Lee, Jessie, McKay. Some of y'all may remember them back in the WWE as the Iconics. John Elite's going with Dark State to continue their winning ways. Okay. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. They've been an unstoppable force. To be honest, I'm really hoping the inspiration, as crazy as it is for me to say this, because I'm not really much of a fan of the inspiration. I really wasn't too crazy about them when they were in the WWE as the Iconics. I mean, they had a few funny moments, but I just didn't think they were much of a great tag team. So, yeah. I'm hoping the Inspiration will win, so I'm going to go with the Inspiration to become the Knockout Tag Team Champions. Glenn says, I feel like they've lost part of their identity. It's almost like they're in the same spot as Ring of Honor. What? That's kind of weird. I really don't think it even compares to Ring of Honor. First off, Ring of Honor's not even on TV. I gotta disagree with you on that, Glenn. Ring of Honor and TNA, that I can't put those two in the same boat. I mean, Ring of Honor's not even on TV. But interesting. Very interesting thought you have there. But I'd have to disagree. John Elite's going with the Inspiration. I'm right there with you. I think they become the new TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions. Okay. Let's go to this next matchup. A matchup I'm actually looking very forward to. They've had their battle, their big battle on the big stage in WWE via WrestleMania. And now they're going to do it again in a TNA ring. And that is a one-on-one match. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. It seems like the Order 4 are back on the same page, supposedly. So, you know, that's a big deal for Mustafa Ali. But y'all know me as the North Carolinian I am, and in a situation like this, I gotta go with Prime. I gotta go with Prime. What did I say? I gotta go with Prime. So I'm going with Prime, Cedric Alexander, to pick up the victory at Slammiversary. Should be an exciting match. These two have awesome chemistry against each other. And I know they're a little bit older since the last time they went against each other, but I think they can still keep that chemistry strong in the ring. Both are awesome wrestlers. But got to go with Cedric Alexander to pick up the victory. Should be a great match. Should be a really great match. John Elite's also going with Cedric Alexander. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Alrighty. Let's go to this next championship match. Alrighty. We have the TNA X Division Championship on the line. As the champion, who's been on an unstoppable roll, Moose will defend against Leon Slater. Leon Slater, I believe they had mentioned this, that he has the opportunity to become the youngest X Division champion in history. Don't get me wrong. I like Moose. I've met Moose. Dude is a beast in the ring. But I think it's time. I really think it's time for a change. I really want to see Leon Slater pull off the unthinkable and beat Moose to become the new X Division champion. I think it's time. I think it's time. and they have this opportunity to make history. But I just really feel like it's time to kind of pass it along. Nothing against Moose. I mean, the Moose. I mean, a lot of them know him for power and whatnot, but the dude is very agile for his size. Very agile for his size. So, I mean, on paper at first, he doesn't seem like an X Division type of wrestler. But then again, y'all have to keep in mind, there's been many X Division wrestlers or X Division champions that haven't been high flyers. I mean, heck, Sheik Abdul Bashir was an X Division champion. I mean, Samoa Joe, I mean, yeah, he could do some high flying, but I mean, look at what Samoa Joe has done with that title. You know, I mean, you've had all sorts of different types of X Division champions. You know, high flyer, submission specialists. You know, so I get it. But they have an opportunity to make history here, so I'd say why not? Go for it. So going with Leon Slater to pick up the win. Glenn says, Moose has never seemed like an X Division wrestler, but he's made it work. I think he retains. Moose has carried TNA on his back for years. Give him a lot of respect for that. And yeah, that's the thing. On paper, definitely doesn't seem like an X Division wrestler, but hey, he's been wrestling like it. He's been wrestling like it, as surprising as it is. Heck, even ended up competing in an Ultimate X match, which it took a while for that to finally happen, but hey, he did it. So, you know, shout out to Moose, but I think it's time. I think it's time for a new champion. So I'm gonna go for Leon Slater. It wouldn't make me mad if Moose retained, but gotta go with Leon Slater. Time for a change. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. John Elite's going Leon Slater as well. I'm there with you. Okay, now things are about to get really interesting and really chaotic, if you ask me. Here we go. Next title match. Whew. We got the TNA World Tag Team Championships to be defended in a ladder match. So, you have the champions, Nick and Ryan Nemeth, defending against the Rascalz, of course, Zachary, Wentz, Trey, Miguel, versus First Class, AJ Francis, Casey Navarro, versus my boys, the Hardys, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. Now, this got pretty interesting after tonight's episode of TNA Impact. The Hardys have claimed that if they cannot win the tag titles at Slammiversary, that it may be time to end the Hardy Party. Translation, retire. That's what I take that as. And the interesting thing about this is that this is a match that favors them, because we all know the Hardys are phenomenal in ladder matches, especially record-wise. So, now, I'll start off by saying this. I definitely do not think First Class wins. So I'm going ahead and marking them off. I do not see First Class winning. The Rascalz, while it would be nice, I don't see them winning. To be honest, Now, y'all know I love the Hardy Boys. They're in my top 10 favorite tag teams of all time. And of course, y'all know me as a North Carolinian. You know I love my North Carolinian wrestlers. I honestly think it's time. I honestly think it's time. The Hardys have had a legendary career. Legendary career. Tag team championships. And they've each had their share of singles championship gold. I love the Hardys. I've met the Hardys. And let me tell you, when it comes to meet and greets, the Hardys always gets the big crowds. But I am going to say, as shocking as this is, I think the Nemeths retain. I think the Nemeths retain the tag titles. But yeah, I think we're about to see the Hardys retire. Like I said, even though this is a type of match that favors them, I think the Hardys come up short. So yeah, I agree with you, John Lee. I'm going with the Nemeths to retain as well. So yeah, but should be a great match. Should be a great match. Glenn says, I'm sorry, but the Hardys probably shouldn't be wrestling at all. They certainly shouldn't still be doing ladder matches. Matt looks like he can hardly even walk anymore. I mean, Glenn, when you really think about it, there's a lot of wrestlers that really shouldn't be wrestling right now. Adam Copeland, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, who came back and had some spots. I mean, there's a number of folks that, when you really think about it, shouldn't be wrestling. Especially Kenny Omega. Especially Kenny Omega. I'm sorry. I love Kenny Omega. I hope to meet Kenny Omega. But I am not convinced that he is 100% after dealing with diverticulitis. I'm not convinced. I'm sorry, but I'm not convinced that he's 100%. I mean, heck, look at what's been happening with some of the Stardom ladies, Glenn. Wrestling through injuries, elbow injuries, partially torn ACLs. Like, I get what you're saying, but when you really think about it, is it really that much of a difference? I'm just saying. Is it really that much of a difference? I mean, heck, Nikki Bella. Don't forget, Nikki Bella dealt with neck issues. Because remember, her first rack attack finisher, which is why she had to change it. But look at her. She's back in the ring. I'm sorry, but when you've dealt with injuries like neck, especially neck injuries, it's going to be a risk. It's going to be a risk regardless. I'm not saying that anybody can't come back from it, but the risk factor I'm just saying. Should the Hardys not be wrestling? Yeah, I can agree with you on that. But at the same time, when you really think about it, there's a handful of wrestlers that shouldn't be wrestling right now when you think about it. When you really think about it. Okay. 2 more matches left. Yeah, let me see. And yes, I agree, the Nemeths retain. If I hadn't mentioned that already. Okay. So now let's go to this next match. Here we go. So we got a winner takes all title for title match. Which isn't too surprising. There's already been like 8 of these this so far this year. It's crazy. Masha Slamovich, the TNA Knockouts World Champion, versus Jacy Jayne, the NXT Women's Champion. TNA versus NXT, title for title, winner takes all. Misfit says, I just realized the irony of WWE doing the first 2-night SummerSlam in MetLife Stadium is that MetLife hosted the last single night WrestleMania. Oh, interesting. Interesting fun fact there. Glenn says, wrestling is a risky business, but it just makes me sad to watch the Hardys now. I mean, it is. It is. But, like I said, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. So, of course, Jacy Jayne's going to have fatal influence in her corner. Xia Brookside and Lei Ying Lee will be in Masha's corner. Now, y'all already know how I feel about double titles. But nowadays, I just got to learn to pretty much accept. This has become the new norm. This has become the new norm. Multiple title holders. So, but I gotta go with Masha Slamovich to win this one, because I really can't see Jacy Jayne being a double champion. It makes me feel like it'll be Mandy Rose all over again. I hate to say it, but you look at the work ethic of Jacy Jayne versus the work ethic of Masha Slamovich. I'm sorry, they don't compare. They don't compare. I'm not saying that Jacy can't get there, but her compared to Masha, no. Not even in the same league. Let's just keep it real. Misfit says, I expect AJ to wrestle for TNA this year. Well, I think it'd be kind of pointless. But then again, if it's just a match and not for a title, then I guess I'd be cool with it. I don't know. Me personally, I mean, he was the first ever Grand Slam champion, and just, a lot of what went down. But, I mean, hey, yeah, it probably could happen. Glenn is picking Masha. And honestly, I think that's the right pick. Because I really don't see Jacy Jayne as somebody strong enough to represent both women's divisions of TNA and NXT. I don't see it. And if Jacy wins, I think it'll just be a whole nother Mandy Rose type of scenario. Hate to say it, but John Lee's going Masha as well. Right on, right on. Okay. And then what I predict will be the main event of TNA Slammiversary 2025. We got ourselves a triple threat match for the TNA World Championship. As the champion, Trick Williams from NXT will be defending against former champion Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. Misfit says, especially if he plans on retiring next year, then having one last match for a company to help build before he retires. I guess. I guess. Personally, I would love for Mike Santana to win this big one, just with the story that he's been going through and just like the build up, and ever since he returned to TNA and has really been more focused as a singles wrestler since the breakup of Proud and Powerful. Speaking of which, where the heck is Ortiz anyway? Anybody seen Ortiz? Will the real Ortiz please stand up? But I just have a feeling. I have a feeling that Dark State is going to interfere, help Trick Williams win, and this is how Trick gets revealed as the secret leader of Dark State. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Dark State. I think this is how they potentially reveal Trick Williams as the secret leader. Glenn is picking Santana. I feel like it's his time. I have no idea where Ortiz could be. Me neither. I would like for Santana to win. I would definitely like Santana to win. Mr. says, AJ Styles got people to watch TNA this weekend. What a goat. Well, I hope his prayers get answered and he gets his Intercontinental Championship match, which I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I'm sure he's going to get that title shot. Yeah. But overall, not a bad card for TNA Slammiversary. Not the best. Not the best, but decent card for Slammiversary. I've only been to two TNA pay-per-views. I've been to a Turning Point and I've been to a Bound for Glory. Of course, both of those that I went to were in North Carolina. But yeah, overall not a bad card. Not a bad card. John Elite's also going Santana. Like I said, I think that'd be really cool. I think that would be really cool if Santana won. That would rock. I'd be all for it. I would be all for it. So, kind of a little added bonus that I wanted to throw in there. I know I've mentioned this before, but they actually have a match graphic up for this, so I figured I'd just mention this. Figured I'd mention this. Check this out. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. your 3 finalists for this year's Catch the Wave 2025 tournament. Haruka Umisaki, Kohaku, and Stardom's own Rana Yagami. That's right. These 3 ladies will duke it out in a triple threat match. Winner gets the $1,000,000 yen, wins the tournament, gets a nice little trophy, and will go on to challenge the Phoenix Queen, Saya Kamatani, for the Regina de Wave Championship. Now, got some more comments. Misfit says AJ isn't the only main roster talent set for TNA Slammiversary this Sunday. I remember you had also mentioned R-Truth as well, so I do remember you mentioned that. John Lee says, wonder if there's going to be more surprises. It's possible. It's possible. Glenn says, I'm rooting for Rana. Misfit says, if this show wasn't in New York, I would have said Trick, but it's in Santana's home state of New York. That is a good point as well. That is a good point as well. Which is why I would like to see him win it. So very interesting scenario with this Catch the Wave 2025 finals. Now with Kohaku and Haruka Umisaki, they have been in the playoffs the last including this tournament, the last 3 tournaments. And don't forget, Kohaku was in the finals last year before losing to the winner, Saya Kamatani. So, 3rd time could be the charm for Kohaku or Haruka Umisaki. Which means, to be honest with you, I don't like Rana Yagami's chances, but I think it would be pretty cool if Rana Yagami were to pull off the win. I think it would be pretty cool. But I could totally see Kohaku, being that she's gotten close the previous 2 years. Part of me can see Kohaku winning this. But we'll see. We shall see. But best of luck to Rana Yagami. Hopefully she can pull it off. Would be nice. Would be really nice. You never know. You just never know. But it'd be nice if she was able to pull this one off. And just the crazy thing is that she's also as soon as that's over, then she's got to get ready to do the 5-star Grand Prix. It's crazy. It's crazy. Once she finishes that, then it's time for her to full speed ahead on the 5-star Grand Prix. Man, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. But should be interesting. Anyway, that's pretty much all that I have for tonight's live stream. Like I said, I mainly just had those two big previews. But yeah, got another loaded weekend coming up. Mr. says Stardom did have an update on Rena today. I think, did it have to do with they're gonna keep her, they're gonna hold her out of competition until the 5-star? Is that what you're referring to? Because if so, I did hear about that, and it's a smart move. It's a smart move. You know, make sure she's 100% and good to go, because tournament season is no joke. You gotta, you know, last through long amounts of matches. Oh, okay. Gotcha. But should be a loaded weekend. I mean, you got Slammiversary. Oh, she'll be at the Hate Anniversary event on the 20th. Oh yeah, that's right. That is Sunday. That's right. Good call. But yeah, a loaded weekend. G1 Climax begins, Slammiversary on Monday. We got both Stardom and TJPW. So, yeah, a lot to be excited for, a lot of content. So, dive in, get as much as you can. Anyways, want to thank everybody for coming out and chatting it up with me. For those that catch this archive later, let me know your thoughts on the Tokyo Princess Cup 12 bracket. What are your predictions? Who do you think will win the whole tournament? And also, let me know your predictions for Slammiversary 2025. But yeah, another big TNA event. You know, one of the big main ones. Misfit says, I'm hoping Stardom streams it on Stardom World. I don't know. Because I know I just got the Stage Crowd. I purchased that. But I'm sure it'll get archived to Stardom World. Of course, the sooner the better. But it'd be nice if they kind of get to a point where they, you know, do their pay-per-views and whatnot on Stardom World. But we'll have to see. But yeah, and don't forget to like, comment, follow, subscribe, all of the above. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hope y'all enjoyed the live stream. I'm about to go chill out. Might play some more RoboCop. Or I might jump on that Donkey Kong Bonanza. I did pick that up. I should check that out. But anyway, for another pro wrestling live stream brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming, my name is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening. I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream.